What's good, folks? You already know what time it is. We back and live and direct with another legendary episode from the Bricks of Weekly Views as usual. Today, we got a special guest. I know y'all used to seeing people from San Antonio in here, but today we got a visitor coming all the way from Miami, Florida, the 305, man. It's a special day, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them who we got here. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm BAYBE Jay. I'm from Miami, Florida. Yeah, born and raised in Miami, and yeah, just touching down in the city right now.
Well, welcome to San Antonio, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate you. So, man, I want to get into it, man. Let's tell us about just, your family background, growing up and everything. Give us a little rundown.
Yeah, so like I said, I was born in Miami. My dad, he came from Guatemala, like when he was like 16 or 17. And, like immigrant, just like grinding it out. And came out my mom there. My mom's from Cuba. And, they were like going back on and off. And when I was like 7, I kind of just like stayed with my dad. Then I was like raised with him and my stepmom from Venezuela. And, just like came up in like a very like Hispanic culture, in Miami Beach, South Beach. It's kind of like, I was like in the middle, right? Like I would live like in the spot where like right here it was like the rich like billionaires, like millionaires, like with Ferraris, and then right here on this corner like there was like a bunch of homeless people like
so
sleeping.
So you got to see the best of.
Yeah, so I got to see like it was always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like I was like, wow, this guy is like sleeping very close to my crib, but then it's like, oh wow, there's that Ferrari right there. So yeah, I got to see like both worlds.
No, that's good though. You got to see both worlds because it kind of gives you the motivate you to want more, but obviously to get you to look at life in a different perspective and also not look down on people that are coming up in the poverty.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think some people who come from a lot of money and stuff like that, they only see life one way, and then they look down on the people. So that's good. You got to see the best of both worlds, man.
Yeah.
I want to get into if you want to get into it, we can, your mom. I know I saw on one of your podcasts. So can you kind of tell your mom, did she leave or what was the situation?
My dad and her, like they kind of like they split, and she was just kind of like, I can't take care of him, so I stayed with my dad. But it was like so weird because she would come back and like she'll come with like the police and try to like get me back, but then it was like I wouldn't understand so much like when I was young. Ultimately, I ended up staying with my dad, and I just felt like she didn't really want to like be there, and like I haven't connected with her in like 12 years, so like we're all adults, so I'm nobody to judge or criticize. Like maybe that relationship could be repaired one day, so I don't want to talk down on nobody, but it just felt like it was like I'm not sure what it is that she was doing. So I kind of just like when I was like 15, I just kind of told my dad I don't want to see her no more. So.
And what age were you when all this happened?
I was like 5. My parents split up like very early. It was like a very emotional thing because I was like 5 years old, obviously not understanding what was going on. Like here's like my mom who I love, right? And I'm like 5, and then there's like my dad, and then it was like crazy. Like me and my dad were like at some point like we were living out of a car.
Oh wow.
For like a few like days and weeks. He had to send me to my aunt's house because like him and my mom split, and she didn't like want to give him like a place to stay. And it was very very traumatizing like early on, like dealing with that, and I would move around a lot. And yeah, it was the first few years of my life were kind of interesting, I would say.
How did that play a role as far as your behavior going to school? Because I do know, history has shown a lot of kids when their parents go through a split and stuff like that, they start acting out because they don't know how to, express. Did you have any issues as far as like your behavior during that time period?
I'm not gonna lie, like in elementary school, like I would get in a lot of fights. Yeah, once it got to like middle school and high school, I haven't been in a fight since like middle school now. Like
Got them hands.
Yeah, but maybe back then, I don't know about now. I'm not gonna lie. But back then, I was finding like big kids, like
Yeah.
like any kid, like whoever it was, if anybody was trying to mess with me, like I would fight them. But I would still get like good grades, you know. But then as I got older and I realized like how cruel the world was, like people were bringing knives to school and like guns to school, and then I was just kind of like and then my stepmom had like a big influence on me on trying to get me to the right direction, and ever since like she came into my life, I've kind of just like, you know, I had good grades in school, graduated like top 20. Went to college for a little bit, and yeah, I was able to kind of like turn my life around.
Now, how was it going from, you know, living with your mom and your dad I know I don't want to call it random, but you know,
Yeah.
this new woman, like how was that transition even?
I didn't like it at first. I was trying my best to like split them up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I would do the worst thing, you know, and obviously like because I was like missing my mom.
Right.
You know, so I remember like she bought me like some chocolates one day, and I melted them, and like I think it was like on clothes and stuff. Like I didn't want her to be a part of my life because I was so set on I want my parents to stay together. But then at some point, like I realized how good of a woman she was, and you know, I had a sister that came with her, like my stepsister, who I consider my sister, and I was pretty much raised by them, you know, because my dad would have to like work like extreme like hours, like from like 12 p.m. to like 11 p.m. So she was like, she kind of basically took care of me.
Man, well, everything happens for a reason. So,
Yeah.
what's your relationship, you know, with your dad nowadays? Like,
He's my best friend, you know. My dad, he's like my biggest inspiration, you know. He he's always there to motivate me. Obviously like he's always working and stuff, but you know, I have a good relationship with him. Like I just FaceTime them, and ultimately like everything I do it for my dad, for my family, and you know, I'm just trying to get to a point where I could just like take care of my family and make him proud.
man, that's deep, man. That's deep. So tell us, like, what age did you kind of like, you know, did you start falling in love with music?
So I would say like 8 or 9. I listened to. So I grew up in a household where it was like obviously like Hispanics, right?
Right.
And it was mostly like Spanish, and that's when I discovered Daddy Yankee. And I
Yeah, we're
remember
gonna get into that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
I was like, yeah, this is when
A little
this is what
bit
I
of.
want to do. Like I would grab the microphone and just start rapping to my family in like Spanish and stuff. And then one day when I did like become like more proactive in English, I was like, hold on, this guy right here, this guy,
The one.
he inspired me to start rapping, and that's when everything just kind of like changed for me.
So I'm pretty sure, you know, there's a lot of cellular crews coming up around the household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rest in
Cellular
peace.
Cruz, yeah.
Legend.
Legend, yeah.
Rest in peace, man. Now, I really wanted to, you know, and we spoke about growing up, but like, just tell us how it is, you know, growing up in Miami in general, man. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
what was some of the stuff that you've seen, like the good and the bad that you know you just witnessed?
There's like a misconception of Miami. Everybody think it's like sunshine and like beach and there's a lot of poor people in Miami. Like a lot of people struggling, like living like paycheck to paycheck, in the streets, like actually on Washington Avenue, which is like very close to Ocean Drive where everybody goes to. There's a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of dangerous people, I would say too. Like if you're walking at night, like you for sure gotta watch your back because there's like sketchy ass people. Um, there's a lot of poorness in Miami, and then there's like little parts like Brickell, you know, like Bay Harbor, which everything's kind of like in the island. That's where like people with more money are. But I never grew up in those areas. I grew up in South Beach. So, like I said, South Beach is kind of like a mixture of by the bay you have like the rich people, and they're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and then there's like the middle class, but not really middle class because it's like what you pay like $1,800 for. It's like a small little studio.
Who? How much?
$1,800 for a little studio, and like
Oh,
you're
man.
basically living like you're broke. And then there's like the homeless people on this side. So that's really what Miami is, right? It's like these people that are here, these people that are here, and then these people that are like right there. So Miami inspires you to go and get it because, you know, you have like the beach and like obviously you still see like the tourists and people who like rent like the nice cars, and there's nice buildings and nice hotels. But living there is not what people think, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and I know it's everywhere has a you know, a ghetto. There's poverty everywhere, but I do know, you know, of course, to bring money in, they do show the same thing like with Africa. They only advertise the poor parts. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And stuff. And man, not really with like Miami. It's like there's multiple cultures because just Florida in general. Because y'all have, like I said, y'all have, you know, the Cubans, right? Obviously, that's what
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans. Y'all have Dominicans. Y'all have the Haitians. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Big crowd there.
Sapase, you know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Big Haitian community.
And you know, little Haiti, y'all got, and then y'all have y'all have the Jamaicans out there, and I'm pretty sure y'all have like, you know, people from South America. How is it just, you know, living in an area like that with all those mixed cultures, like, you know?
I think that's why my music is like so diverse, because I've been around so many like different people. Like you said, even like the Haitian community is so big over there, and then you have like the big like Cubans, and then like Venezuelans. It's really cool, to be honest. Like for me, like to be in a place where you can see all types of different cultures. You know, it's like very influencing, very inspiring. You get to hear like the stories of like people's countries, and I feel like it's almost like you feel like you're them. Like it kind of feels like we're all like one country. I don't know if that makes sense, but like Haitians, Puerto Ricans, like Cubans, it feels like we're all one country because like we're all like here in this little tiny little island joined together, and now we're like basically like a family. So it's really cool.
Let me ask you, going back to your dad, was your dad part of, you know, in the 80s when they came over, you know, when Castro let the people come, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that? Was he part of that?
Okay, so my dad's from Guatemala, but I think my mom was.
Oh, your mom,
Yeah,
that's right.
she's since she's the Cuban one, I'm pretty sure she probably
Right.
probably did. But my dad definitely came like as an immigrant. But he didn't come like illegally. Like he actually tried to do like
His visa and stuff.
his visa and stuff like, but they wouldn't take him in school.
Oh, wow.
So he got like his like papers and stuff like that. That's one thing about it. Like back then, like I don't even know if it's the same nowadays, but they wouldn't let him in high school because he didn't have like papers.
Oh, man. So what is it? You know, what are some challenges you face just being a Latino artist in the game? Does it come with like? I know now the doors are opening, right? But is it still like discrimination challenges you may face just in general as far as trying to get in certain doors?
To be honest, I guess I haven't experienced it yet, because most of the people I interact with or who support me are very diverse people. But I will say like in Miami, I do feel like a little bit of a minority because for the most part they like Hispanic, like Spanish music, and me being like a Spanish artist who raps, it's kind of like weird because I'll have people who support me who don't even speak English. So then I'll be like, oh, listen to my song, and then it's like a full rap song, and then they're kind of like, okay, I'll support you because I know you, but like I have no idea what you're saying, you know. As far as like the hip hop community or just like people who like rap and stuff, like I've never really felt that. If anything, whenever I feel more comfortable. I feel more comfortable like marketing or like introducing myself to people who like hip hop.
Right.
I feel like they're more welcoming. I don't know, like yeah. Even like the podcasts I've been in, like or people who have interviewed me have been for the most part people who like hip hop or grew up on rap or Yeah, I feel like I haven't experienced it yet, but that's not to say maybe at some point I might.
Right.
But yeah, not yet.
So I wanna, and I wanna dive into this because I live in San Antonio is a big thing of it's like it's hard to get out here, to blow up out here. So people feel like they feel like they got to move to Houston, they got to move to Dallas. You're in Miami, and you're from a city where there's you got some celebrities from hip hop artists, legendary
Yeah.
hip hop artists, Spanish and all that. Is it is it still difficult for you as an artist in Miami to come up, or is it? Do you feel like it's easy? Like, cause there's a conception, right?
Honestly, it is hard to come up in Miami. First and foremost, like I said, especially if you're a rapper in Miami, like most of the people there are listening to Spanish music. And then besides that, it's such a flashy place that like people like being an up and comer is kind of just like we don't take you serious, you know. Even like for example, this right, like even with like social platforms or like I've been hitting up this like radio station to show me love, and I'm not gonna say their name, but like it wasn't until I got on like a TV channel out of the city that they were like, oh, now let's show you love.
That's how it goes here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked that. So if any, because there's a good majority of my audience who's based here. Right, my platform is based out of here, but I just want you to witness like, hey man, it's not just here; it's everywhere. The
Yeah,
experience
no, it's everywhere. The people, and actually I took it personal because I did one show in in the city, right? And some people were calling me a local artist. And I'm like, I'm not a local artist. I'm not like, and I won't be. So I took it personal, started doing things out of state, and like I feel like I'm succeeding with it. And now it isn't until now. Like for example, I was in Fox Austin yesterday. I had a bunch of like TV channels from the city like hitting me up, like, oh, you could come now. You could come now. But it's like I wish that wasn't the thing. Like I wish you didn't wait till the artist goes out of state and does something big, like go on Fox, like out of state, or like a radio station out of state for you to show love. Like I feel like the platforms in the city should tap into more into the artists from the city, because I feel like that will only elevate the city, and I feel like we need to change that not only in my city but like in every city, you know.
Most definitely, man. And speaking of traveling, because you're traveling, right? You're here in Texas, and you're doing your run and stuff. Austin and here in San Antonio, and I'm pretty sure you traveled other places as well. What made you decide to just start traveling, kind of, like traveling, for your music?
Because you're not gonna make it in one place. Like you're not like I don't recommend like I like to make it from my city in terms of like grinding in my city and building in my city, but realistically like I have to get out. Like there's a whole big world outside of my city, and I just feel like it's important for me to market in these places. Like social media is cool, and you could run ads and stuff like that, and reach people, but I feel like for me it's like it's important to start building bases in different places, because that's the only way the word is going to get spread around, and I don't want to be a local artist, and I'm not. I want to be known in different places, and that's the only way, the word is gonna be spread about me.
Man, I want to get into one of your record. I actually liked it, man. 97. That's
Thank you.
a good record, by the way, man.
Thank you.
Give for the viewers, because I know, but for the people who watch, man, give us the concept behind the record 97.
Yeah, so I was feeling like nostalgia. I felt like I was telling like Channel 7 yesterday, like I wish I was this age in the 90s, and I just felt like I wanted to live in the 90s for once. And that's pretty much why I wrote the song. So I kind of made it like about me, but like kind of tied it into what happened that year. So for example, I talk about like you know, I say like I balled just like I was 23, and 23 Michael Jordan won that year, you know, and then I talk about like Biggie, like, cause you know, like he died that year, so I tried to like kind of tie it into like events that happened that year, but also talk about me and my personal life and you know how I've been grinding for years. So it was kind of like an introduction to the world for me. You know, I tried to, as inspirational as I wanted to sound, I did want to be upbeat and I wanted to make it catchy, and you know, so people could kind of like jam it out in the streets as well. And man, yeah, it's been going crazy right now. You know, they played it on TV. I performed it on TV. I've been performing it in like basketball arenas. Right now, the video has over 240 or 50,000 views on social platforms. Just like the video. On Spotify is like creeping up on like 200,000 streams. So yeah, I've actually been working the record correctly now, because I released it about a year and a half ago, but I told myself like I'm not gonna promote this new music coming up till I do this one right. You know, like I feel like when I first released the record, I didn't work it right. And this is what I tell artists all the time, right? Good music is timeless. You know, and I felt like that record didn't have enough love when it first came out, and that's partially because of me, because I didn't push it. And so like it was only right for me to do it the right way, and now I'm seeing like a lot of people who know the song. And actually I wrote that song for people like you who like mature people. Like if you're not mature, like you're not going to like that song. But if you're mature and you're like an adult and you like stories, or like you like, you know, people who tell you about themselves, and you like a little bit of catchiness and stuff like that. If you like hip hop, like you're gonna like that song. If you don't, then you might not like it. And this song was for people who, like, for example, like I respect you and I respect people like you. Everybody I respect likes the song, and I feel like it was my introduction to that world, to being respected as an artist. So
Yeah, man, it was a good record. And plus, I mean, I'm from the and 97 was like it. Yeah, man, it was like I said, Biggie's one of my favorite artists. So you know, significant. Every time I think of 97,
yeah,
that's you know, and then some other good moments in you know in hip hop and stuff that took place in you know 97 through 98. That was when the Bulls, Michael Jordan
yeah,
won his last championship, man. So much love on that record, man. Keep pushing it, man. Now I want to
oh,
get
yeah.
into it, man. You're from. We gotta talk about it. We can't. Since you here, I gotta ask you about some Miami people, man.
Okay.
We gotta get to Mr. 305 himself, Pitbull,
Yes.
man. What is like, you know, how is it seeing like Pitbull, like, you know, come from your city, represent this man is a global star, like, you know, like
Yeah.
what's the love out there, you know, for Pitbull?
Yeah, actually, ironically, I met Pitbull when I was like 10, and I told him I'm gonna be an artist. I met him at Dave and Buster's. He was shooting like a behind the scenes or something for like MTV or VH1 or whatever. I took a picture of him and I was with my family, and I told him I'm gonna be an artist, and he told me keep pushing. And ironically, like 10 years later or 15 or whatever, where I was recording just last year, it was right next to his studio.
Oh wow.
Now I never saw him there because he has like a tight schedule or whatever, but it felt like surreal. Like I'm like, wow, I'm like very close to the situation. But yeah, everybody in Miami loves Pitbull. You know, obviously he's a big inspiration to everybody in the city. He always gives back. He puts on for the city as well, and I'm looking to be the next one. You know, and but I'm looking to be the first one who does like hip hop and rap coming out of the city to that's Hispanic, you know, because like Pitbull is like more pop now. Obviously, he started
Yeah,
as a rapper.
that hurt. I ain't gonna lie, hurt my feelings when he traded. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
but
it, but he hurt my feelings because he was cold. And
he
then,
was crazy, and he could still do it. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. You get in a beef with
But he
Pitbull,
get-
he'll give it
but
to
he
you.
going where the checks is at. So
Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to be like the first rapper who like stays that course. Obviously, still does pop and stuff like that, but like I really like I love hip hop. Like I grew up Kanye and like obviously like Lil Wayne, like Drake and Big Sean. Like I really want to stay in that lane, you know. As much as I love and as much as I love pop and I want to continue to obviously like Ear Candy is good, you know, and radio and stuff like that. But I really want to like stay true to this because that's been my dream since the beginning.
Man, so and yeah, I got to also shout out to the king of Miami, Mr. Luke. So
Yeah.
Luke's definitely can't not mention Miami without
Shout out
mentioning.
Uncle Luke. I believe he's like a football coach now at one of the high
can't
schools.
can't forget about him, man, Uncle Luke, man. Now let's talk about, of course, man. We gotta talk about Rose, man.
Boss.
What's what's his impact in your city like? You know what I'm saying? How do the people
Yeah.
perceive him? Because I just see from social media stuff like that. So like, what is the
Yeah.
what is the impact of Rick Ross in Miami?
Yeah, he's a big influence. He was my first concert that I went to.
Oh wow,
It was Rick Ross, Meek Mill. It was the Maybach Music tour. Wale came out too. That began my love for Rick Ross. This was like freshman year in high school. Yeah, he's always shown love to the city. He's very motivational and yeah, people love him in Miami, you know, like he's him and Khaled, Wayne, like these people, like these are like the founding fathers. Obviously like Pitbull, all these guys are the founding fathers of Miami and I got nothing but respect for them. They all inspired me. Pitbull,
well,
Rick
no, I mean
Ross.
Wayne's New Orleans, but
Yeah.
he has lived in Miami, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like Birdman, like all these people, like they made my Miami music, you know, like even though they're not from there, but they made that music,
no,
you know?
for sure. Yeah, because I know Cash Money after Hurricane Katrina, they
Yeah.
moved the operations to Miami, and I know they spent Birdman. I think Birdman has a house out there for sure, man.
Yeah.
Even shout out to Khaled, man. Like and you brought up
Yeah.
Khaled, what's it like even seeing a guy like that, from your city just
Yeah.
do some amazing things.
I met Khaled. Okay, I met Khaled and Wayne the same week when I was like 15. They were doing First Take because the Heat were in the finals.
And we gonna get to that too.
And they were in the finals, and this was back when I started, right? And I was trash, you know, like whatever. But I had my CDs, and I went to meet them, and down to earth, both of them. You know, I've been like Khaled. That was back when Khaled was just like Khaled was. He wasn't like so mainstream. It was like obviously he was doing like the songs, you know, like with like Plies and like all these other like artists. But it wasn't like now.
Yeah.
You know, and he was humble. You know, I got to take a picture with him. I gave him my CD. Same for Wayne. Wayne took a picture with me. By the way, Wayne is the most down to earth person in the world. I've met people who are way below him who have dubbed me. And like this guy's like the greatest rapper of all time, one of the greatest. You know, I don't want debates, but and he took my CD, he took a picture with me, and he told me keep going, you're gonna make it. And he had no idea who I was. I was 15, but yeah, shout out to Khaled and shout out to Wayne, both very nice people.
Most definitely, man. Now, so we gotta, this is probably my number debate, between him and Don Mar. I'll go back and forth, but this is one of my favorite reggaeton artists of top 5, Daddy Yankee, man. You grew up on Daddy Yankee.
Yes.
Speak of just, being influenced with Daddy Yankee, and what was it about Daddy Yankee that kind of, made you become a fan of his music?
Oh man, the catchiness, the ear candy, like it was just so catchy and yeah, that was my first album that I ever got, that I ever asked for like for Christmas. Daddy Yankee changed my life, I would say, just because like he got me into music. You know, like I don't know, like I'm sure like eventually I would have found my love for music, but just like hearing him just how catchy he was, how he went, you know, like into the beats, like his cadences, like what he was talking about, like legendary. Like Barrio Fino, like the 2005 album,
Oh yeah.
changed my life, you
Classic,
know.
really classic.
And yeah, shout out to Daddy Yankee. I know one day I'm gonna meet him, and I hope to tell him this because he's a big reason for why I even make music now. So yeah, greatest of all time, greatest reggaeton artist of all time. There's
For
no
sure.
debate. There's
For
no debate.
I would say Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee is, oh man, like I don't even know who we compare to in hip hop, but he's like the, I guess he's like
Yeah.
the Jay-Z
Yeah.
like of
Yeah.
of reggaeton, man.
Yeah.
I remember, man, when I first discovered him, and this was when, on a station, Mundos. Like I was just flipping the channels.
Mundos. Oh my
Yeah.
God, yo. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I remember
Mundos.
that.
And I just seen him rapping in Spanish. Well, granted, this before I even learned a
Yeah.
little bit. I ain't know what he was saying, but I
Yeah.
felt the music.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember he was wearing a Lakers jersey, and I'm like, oh snap! Like, wow, I ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he had a Kobe Bryant like cameo in a small cameo in the video, but it's cool. And man, yeah, he's definitely. I mean, like I didn't heard a lot of his music. Talento de Barrio is a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I still watch it
Damn,
to
I
this day.
see you. I see you.
I still watch it to this day. But man, yeah, no,
I see you.
definitely one of the greatest reggaeton artists. Number one, number two,
Yeah.
him and Don Omar, my
Don
guys.
Omar is fire. And by the way, he's a big reason for why us Hispanics are able to kind of tap into hip hop. Even though he didn't really do hip hop, but it's just the fact that it was like he shook the hand of hip hop to be like, all right, we're welcoming you like Latinos to come into our world,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our culture, like this is us, like we're united. And now you see all these rappers like doing
Yeah.
Spanish music, you know what I'm saying? Like Rich the Kid just did like a random like Mexican song with like Peso Pluma, you know, like all these like rappers now we're like tapped in, we're like a collective.
But back then they were trying to do it, but it didn't last. Like when Daddy Yankee
Yeah.
came out, like during the Omi Canto Gasolino era,
Yeah.
when him Tego and Don Omar burst on
Yeah.
the scene, they were merging it with hip hop. Even Hector El Father, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Salute.
Yo,
But
I
it
see it.
didn't last. It was kind of
Yeah.
like it was there and then it didn't, you know what I'm saying? But then now I think with the social media, like you said, you see like, even though Peso Pluma not reggaeton, but you see just kind of the merges and you see people like
Yeah.
even Quavo does stuff with
Quavo,
you know what I'm saying? So man, shout out to Daddy Yankee, but yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely played a blueprint in there for sure.
Oh, and Nori. I forgot to say Nori because he did do that song.
Or Mi
with-
Canto, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Nori. He's one of the
He helped bridge
founding
that. He
fathers.
definitely helped bridge that gap too.
Yeah.
Man, so I want to, this is a big thing that's going on right now, on social media. You coming up as a artist, a content creator, how do you feel about, the ban of TikTok?
It's like bittersweet, you know, because it's kind of like it makes me feel like finally one less thing I gotta worry about. I can just put all my all my money into one thing, you know, like Instagram and Spotify and stuff like that. But at the same time, it also feels like a leg has been cut because like there's so many opportunities in TikTok, you know, to go viral and be discovered. And truth be told, you know, like a lot of records, they don't really make it up there till they get that TikTok push. So it's kind of like a sigh of relief, but I also feel like opportunities are being cut. But yeah, I just feel like it's just there needs to be an app where everything, like for example, I was just talking about this earlier, like MySpace was so cool because you went in there and like the song was playing already, like everybody was on MySpace. Like during that time, I don't know where anybody else was at. We were all on MySpace. So like if somebody could come up with an app where we all go, then none of this will be happening.
Yeah,
you know, so I just think like Instagram, you have the perfect opportunity to make this your moment. So are you gonna grab it or are you just gonna let it slide.
Yeah, MySpace was like at that time. MySpace was a one-stop shop. Cause let's say you had the music on there,
Yeah.
and then you also could post your YouTube links on it. So if you were an artist, people can go on your page and watch your videos. But not everything. You got to go from here. You got to. It's everything. So yeah, I think I would love that they put everything in.
Exactly. It would help. It would help so much, even just like content creators or artists, because like, man, it's tough. Like, I'm an independent artist. Like, having to grow in so many different platforms, like, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially like, if your numbers don't look good, like people don't take you serious, and then it's just like, it's more expensive, you know, because then you have to pay for marketing on different different areas, and like for me, it's like I just want one and let's go, you know, and maybe now's the chance.
Man, so I want to get into it, man. And if this was 2012 and stuff like that, in 2013, we would have been beefing, right? So we got to talk about it, right? So
yeah,
we got to talk about it, man. You know, obviously, you know, there was a time when Miami, you know, y'all had LeBron James, y'all had what they called the big three, right? Bosh and Wade. What was it like? What do you remember about when LeBron James got drafted to the Heat? What was you know that time? What was that period in the city?
2012 was probably one of the best.
He got
years
there. I know he got
life.
there in 2011, but you know, but what was the impact like? Just you know, when they were during that time period.
That time brought me and my dad closer, and it brought the city closer. Like, it was the funnest time. So 2011, like. We lost the final. I'm a Lakers fan now because I'm a LeBron fan. Yeah, it was electric. Everybody was looking forward to watching Heat games. The bars were packed. Just like, it was such a good time to spend time with family. A lot of great moments came from those times. It was incredible. Even when we lost the finals, it was just like the city was so like close and together, you know. I wish that was during these times, you know, because, you know, I would have been able to enjoy it more. But I was legit. I was like 15. Like, tickets were like $300. Like, I couldn't afford anything. Man,
so I remember 2013 when you know y'all were playing the Spurs and. Man, man. So fun fact, you know, people were getting beat up for wearing Heat jerseys in San Antonio. Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
Look, it's the Spurs thing. Like, it goes, and I can't really disclose it, but it goes deeper than basketball. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's can't disclose that, but it goes deep. But yeah, man, like people were like, I heard a story like a dude ran off on the road because he was wearing it was it was crazy. Yeah, it was created. It definitely, like, during that time period, it created, especially the finals, because I don't know, Spurs fans are crazy, right?
Yeah, so, and then y'all whooped us next year after that. So y'all got your lick back.
we got our lick back.
Yeah,
you know
like, y'all didn't even like beat us. Y'all just like.
No, we got you. No, but that loss, that 2013. Man,
that was heartbreaking for you guys. Yeah. I couldn't believe when Ray Allen hit that three. I was like, I didn't even scream or anything. I was just like in shock. Like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man. It was definitely like that year, man. It was like a crazy year because that was the first time that the Spurs had went to the finals and they had lost. Because usually every time they went to the finals, they won. So it was kind of like, we were like, man, this is our year. But we did come back. Now, I got to talk about it. Now, I seen on TV and ESPN and everything when LeBron he announced that he's leaving Miami. It looked like the city went crazy. I seen people were like burning jerseys. Did you even witness any of that in person?
Yes, I did. You know, people were just like going crazy. Like, I remember they had like a mural and somebody you know, like they had like some other graffiti all over it. You know, people were saying F LeBron and all this. LeBron was my favorite player before he got to the Heat. That was when I first discovered basketball. And then he being in the Heat made me a bigger fan. But the only year I never supported LeBron in his career was the year after he left Miami because I was butthurt. Everybody was butthurt. And not Miami fans. Miami fans are no offense to y'all, I love y'all, but they're ungrateful.
Right.
They don't like LeBron out there no more. They even ran a poll like not too long ago, like last year or whatever. Somebody like a radio station was like, "Who's more valuable to the Heat, Jimmy Butler or LeBron?" And a lot of people were voting Jimmy Butler. I'm like, yo, y'all forgot? Like, you brought 2 championships. Like, what are you doing? Like, y'all are such like prisoners of the moment, you know. And yeah, people are still hurt about it. People are still hurt about it. They're mad because we could have won way many more championships if he would have stayed there. But it's Pat Riley's fault.
Pat Riley. Like even like is it now like are the fans like still not crazy in a bad way? Like is it still like jumping out there as far as basketball season compared to when LeBron was there? Or it's kind of just a little bit. It's way different.
Heat fans are crazy. They're very diehards. When it comes to the playoffs, oh my God, I can't stand them, honestly, because I'm a LeBron fan. But then it's like I root for them because it's my city, so it's kind of like, but it's like they all talk trash about LeBron, but they just like they're never gonna win.
Yeah,
they're never gonna win a championship because they don't invest money on the team. So it's like they get overly excited whenever they advance like in the playoffs, but they're not going anywhere because they're not spending money on the team. So it's like they're still diehards, but I don't see any progress really.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that was a when LeBron was in Miami, man. It was definitely a crazy time, man. So before we get out of here, man, what do you got coming up as far as this year? You know what I'm saying, 2025.
Yeah, so I'm working on a new project. Probably gonna be like 5 to 7 songs. I got new videos coming out. And yeah, like interviews, shows. Like I'm on tour right now. I got a Miami hometown show. I'm doing like Cleveland, like Boston, and yeah, I'm just spreading the word. Really, this is I took 2023 to mid 2024 to kind of like brainstorm and prepare for this moment. Like for example, like even like you, like I've been seeing this for like months. Like I knew I was gonna come here. Like sometimes people are so like, oh, why isn't things happen in the moment? Like you have to plan ahead, you know.
Yeah.
So like for this whole year, like I'm coming like full throttle, like bunch of new stuff, and yeah, let's see where it goes. I'm confident and I'm very positive that it's gonna lead to something.
Hey, well, keep man, good luck on just you as an artist traveling. Like I said, I didn't know you from a can of paint. Never heard your music. And, you're all the way in Miami, and you found my podcast is just based out of here.
Yeah,
and so it was like, wow, it's crazy how the power of the internet, man.
Yes.
The power of the internet, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate you. Like I said, you're the first. So the first Florida guest, Miami guest. See you. So
not the last.
not the last. No, I'm pretty. There's gonna definitely be more. But man, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Saying definitely. You didn't have to pull up, but I appreciate you coming on the platform, man.
Thank you.
We're
Thanks for having me.
Oh man, of course. Even when. Because I was like, man, when you hit me, I'm like, who the hell is this dude? Like, how did you find me? Like, I don't know nobody in Miami at all. So I was, until you told me, you found me, of course, to the Drake and Kendrick thing. But I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, man, let's bridge the gap, man. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, it's everything is timing. You know what I'm saying? When the right time, man. Yeah. For sure, man. But good. I appreciate you again for pulling up.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? But look, man, this was another legendary episode from the Bricks and Weekly Views as usual. My man, Baby J, straight out the 305. You from you are not Dade County, right?
Yeah, Dade County.
You up Dade County already?
On the beach.
If I was from Florida, I'd be from the Dayton. Man, but look, man, y'all make sure y'all watch this episode when it comes out. Hey, y'all hit that like, that share, and that subscribe. It don't cost you no money. Please. Peace.